Hey, what's going on everybody? Jason here, and welcome back to another Call of Duty video. Today we're going to be talking about something that has plagued a significant portion of the Call of Duty community for quite a while now. Now, if you guys don't really know what we're talking about here, and you are out of the loop, I don't blame you, because this is really affecting a lot of the streamers and content creators and a lot of more influential people in the community. So today, I have Joker Alex with me to help explain what the hell is going on with the Call of Duty community outside of Modern Warfare 2 and some of the more modern Call of Duty games. So what's going on, Alex?
Hey Jason, thank you for having me on. And yeah, I agree, it's a really important issue. This something that a lot of people don't actually know. A lot of the more behind the scenes, in depth stuff of what's going on with these older games. And I think it's really important that people actually understand this because this is a huge security risk.
100%. And if you guys don't know what it is, basically, people are getting booted off. People are getting booted off of Black Ops 3, and from what I've seen, other games are being affected by this too, not just Black Ops 3, but more predominantly Black Ops 3. Maybe some of you have seen Mr. T Alexify, Noah J456, some of these other bigger streamers getting booted off by hackers that will do a bunch of technical stuff to basically kick you off of the game, boot you offline. They take your Steam ID and they mess with you, and they do it really just for attention. And the really unfortunate part about this is we live in a society of decadence and people have no meaning. And so what these people will try to do is try to put themselves in the limelight, albeit it's a negative light, for 5 seconds of fame or 5 seconds of haha, I gotcha, and this is what I amount to, because they really have nothing else going on in their lives. And it's really sad to see that we have this chronically online culture of people that literally cannot get off the internet to save their own lives, and they try to affect other people's ways of making money, because content creation in the 21st century and how business and jobs are going, content creation is a legitimate job nowadays. And so you have these people who are so either jealous or frustrated, or they're just internally depressed, or they're internally just bitter about other people having success in the world, and they lash out. And this is how they lash out, in an unfortunate way and not in a positive way, to actually do something about their life and to actually fix what their problems are. They just feast into the negativity. So that's the social problem behind it all, in my opinion. And what we're going to talk about today, more specifically with Alex here, he's going to tell us what's actually happening behind the scenes and what they're actually doing to try to boot these people off. And for those of you out there who are streamers, who have seen this happen to other content creators, or maybe it's happened to you out there, Alex here is going to explain it and what ends up happening on Black Ops 3 and other Call of Duty games. So, Alex, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah, so you gave it a kind of, I guess, quick overview there. I'm gonna break it down into pretty much the different games here. So I'll start off with Black Ops 3, as you mentioned that first of all. I'd just like to also add, before going fully into depth for this, I'm gonna try and make this as simple as possible for everyone to listen to, because I know there's a lot of technical, difficult stuff behind all this, so I don't want to confuse everyone. However, if you want to have a more technical, really deep down analysis of what's going on, then I highly recommend that you go and check out Sirius. We'll link him down in the video's description for you guys.
Absolutely.
Link to the exact videos as well, where he talks about this, because he really does go fully in depth with everything that's going on from a technical standpoint. But just to not confuse you all, I won't go fully that far in depth. But in the case of Black Ops 3, to start with, then, this affects currently major wise the PC version. However, the PlayStation 4 and also the Xbox One versions of the game also have issues here. So this is important for all versions. So starting off with the PC one, some people might be aware of right now, as Jason said, people will be playing Black Ops 3, say they're in a game of zombies, having a great bit of fun, and then they'll just randomly get booted off the game, or their game will crash, or something else along those lines. This is because there's this mod menu that's been around for a long time now. It was used by different creators in order to be able to get the, I think they're called the crypto keys, if I'm not correct. Am I
Yeah,
right
for the
about that?
black market to try
Yeah.
to skip ahead in the earning
Yes.
process of those kinds of things.
Yes, so the crypto keys, I wanted to check I got that one right. And also liquid divinium for zombies on Black Ops 3. This basically means you could get all the microtransactions straight away, rather than having to basically play the luck game that Activision makes you go through in order to try and get it normally. So I can understand why people used it to try and get around all that, especially if you just come from the console versions, right? I just wanted to get everything unlocked straight away on PC. So it makes sense. However, this mob menu has far more to it than just that. And as Jason mentioned, it has a entire tab to it, which is all for the accounts of people playing the game. Now, this is a really serious problem having this here because it lists every single person who is playing Black Ops 3 at that time who is currently logged onto the game and playing it. Not only does it do that, it gives you their entire ID there as well, meaning that people can just look at this and they can do whatever they want with that. Also, they have the options while in there to join a call, if you really want to call it that, where they're effectively faking themselves inside of a party with you, and then they can kick you out if they're like pretending to be the host. Likewise, they can also do something which is actually really surprising that this is even in the mob menu. The ability to destroy DLC. What that means is if you've ever played with someone before who doesn't own a DLC pack, they're effectively disabling the DLC. So if you own, for example, Revelations on Black Ops 3, they can disable that, so you're no longer actually able to play it while you're on that. Well, basically, while you're playing the game at that time period, so you'd have to reboot it and hope that it's still okay afterwards. And yeah, there's a lot of different things that they could do with this mob menu. But I think the most important one, which I'm going to be going really in depth with the older games beyond like before, sorry, Black Ops 3, is the remote code execution exploit. Now, this is an extremely serious exploit. This basically allows anyone to be able to tap into your machine, so your computer, and do whatever the hell they want with it. They could, while you're playing Black Ops 3, for example, right now, just jump behind, open up your Chrome or your Safari or whatever, open up your Facebook if you're logged in, do whatever they want with that. They could go to your bank, steal anything from in there if they wanted to. They can do absolutely anything on your PC. Your PC is completely vulnerable thanks to this.
And before you go
And
any further, real quick, can we just emphasize how insane that is? That this can happen through a video game. This can happen through someone who just wants to play zombies, and you have these lowlives out there that target these people just for playing the game because it's easy pickings for them. And it's really unfortunate that it's gotten to this point that this is even considered easy pickings for them.
I agree. I fully agree with that. And it shouldn't even be an exploit that is available in any capacity to a game at all in the first place. The other thing I wanted to say, though, regarding that remote code exploit is they can also put malware on your machine, meaning that if they do that, well, I mean, you're seriously in trouble to the point where you will just have to completely wipe your machine, or else you are really, really in a security flaw risk all round. Um,
Insanity.
and it's a really scary thing that that can actually happen. And just for people that do still play this game right now and don't use a patch, which we'll be talking about later, and so on PC, just be aware that if you start getting random sort of like lag spikes while you're playing in the game, or you see your monitor flicker a little bit or whatever at any point, the likelihood is someone is currently tampering with your machine behind the game. So if that happens, my advice is that you basically Alt F4 your game immediately, but also check to see that nothing is happening to your machine afterwards. And of course, if it is, you should shut down the machine immediately. And my advice would be to take it to someone, preferably a shop somewhere where they can look at it and make sure that it's not completely compromised. It's really that bad. But my true advice would be just don't play Black Ops 3 on PC online in any capacity. Right now, the best way to play it, other than the patch that I'll be talking about in a moment, is if you turn your Steam client into offline mode. To do that, you basically open up Steam, go up to the top left hand corner and click Go Offline. This will put the whole client into offline mode. And then if you go and play Black Ops 3, it should then automatically put it in offline mode. Now, you are safe for the most part in this mode. However, I say for the most part because to be brutally honest, I'm pretty sure at this point, and it will probably get worse. I'm not kidding about this. It is going to get worse. It's probably going to get to the point where they'll be able to do stuff in offline mode as well with the mob menus. So just bear that in mind. But for now, that's the best way to play it if you don't use the patch. Now, the person who I mentioned earlier, Sirius, he's been a mod creator on Black Ops 3 for, I believe, 10 years now. He's got, a real good reputation behind him with what he's done in the modding community. So when people say that they shouldn't trust him or they shouldn't trust his patch or anything like that, that's not fair. He has actually proven that he is a decent person in the community, that he makes decent mods. You should actually give him a chance here. He is trying to help the community. I might add that he is doing this for free when a big corporation should be doing it themselves, and he doesn't have to help us, but he is trying his best to fix these exploits. So if you use his patch, which will be linked in the description with his video on how to install the patch, then it will help you. I do want to add that he hasn't fixed every exploit yet. You've got to give him time. It takes a long time to fix a lot of these things. There's a lot of exploits. But, people could find ways around these exploits again that have been patched as well. Just bear these things in mind. But right now, if you download his patch, follow his tutorial on how to get it to work, you will at least be able to play Black Ops 3 in some capacity. I'm not quite sure, but I don't think anyway that you'll be able to play it online with other people at the moment still. I'm not sure if the game will ever be able to be played online properly ever again, if I'm honest, but for the time being, you will at least be able to play it on your own.
And
So
honestly, that's really sad to hear that Black Ops 3 on PC will never be normal ever again because of people like this. And you have people like Sirius, who basically the white hats of the community at this point, trying to help and fix all these problems. And
yeah,
it's just really unfortunate that this is the situation that we find ourselves in with Black Ops 3. I mean, obviously we mentioned the content creators earlier, and they're getting booted off and they're getting bullied basically by these no lives, but because these people have a registry now of all these people who are online playing Black Ops 3, this could expand to just normal everyday people too if they really want to be malicious and really want to screw over a bunch of, well-meaning people who don't know about this kind of stuff, and they just want to play Black Ops 3 on their PC. They like their gaming PC and they want to play one of their favorite games, and then unknowingly they put themselves at risk, and it's just a really dumb situation. And this shouldn't be a thing in the first place, but unfortunately it is.
it really is a shame that it's come to this, especially for a game that I consider one of the peaks of Call of Duty, actually, and
Definitely.
especially in the zombies department. Every zombies fan loves this game. So now it's got to the point where it's difficult to even be able to access this game. And that's just unacceptable, especially as it's not even that old, quite frankly, at this point. Yeah, you could consider it old in the COD life cycle, but it's still not that old a game.
Yeah, I mean the game is definitely it's aged well, I would say. Black Ops 3 is definitely aged well, especially when it comes to zombies. And it's really unfortunate that, you briefly mentioned that, this should be something that Activision should be working on. This should be something that Activision wants to fix, but because it's not their newest game with Modern Warfare 2, they're not going to give a crap because, that's just all they're going to put all their eggs in one basket like they do every single year. So, it's just really unfortunate that all these games just fall to the wayside whenever the new games come out, and they don't really pay attention to everything else going on in the Call of Duty community.
I agree. I will talk more about Activision and the other studios and what they should and actually legally need to be doing for these games later on. But also in the regards to Sirius's patch, I just want to say that if you use it and you still get booted off or you have a problem, let Sirius know. I believe he has a Discord. If we find that, we'll link it as well, where he will actually look at the log, because what his patch does is it logs what happens. So if you do get booted off, it will be logged there. Basically, look at that, and then he can take a look at it himself and try and patch whatever they did to you in that game so that it doesn't happen again. So bear that in mind. He is there to try and help as much as possible. People really do need to actually pay attention to what he's doing, because if, and I do mean this in the nicest possible way, of course, But if, he doesn't get people looking at the patch, if he doesn't get people trying it out and actually using it and reporting these problems, then these problems are not going to get fixed by the modding community. The modding community also won't care because they'll be like, oh, no one really gives a damn about the patch. And then the game will be completely screwed. So at the moment, your best bet is to actually use his patch and to help him to try and make it better. So I really do emphasize strongly that you use it. I understand that people will feel a little bit awkward at the fact that someone's just made a random patch out of nowhere. But like I said, he's been around for a long time. You should trust him. If it was a person who's only been around for like, I don't know, a year or something, then I might be more debatable. But he's one of the first modders in Black Ops 3. So listen to him, help him.
And I definitely understand where a lot of people, including myself too, I'm not the most knowledgeable when it comes to technology and PCs and things like that. I just want things to just work, I'll just download something or I'll do something on my computer and I just say, okay, work here. And I'm not that much of a troubleshooter when it comes to things like that. And I'm thankful that I have, people like you who are knowledgeable and things like that and other contacts that I have. But, for a lot of people out there, it's a daunting task to install a patch or a daunting task to trust something that, oh, what's an exe file? Is that something that's gonna be safe for my computer or not? For people that just, don't have extensive knowledge like that. So it's good to hear multiple people, not just you, but there are other people out there saying, this guy is legit with his patch, which is always good to hear. And it's always good to reassure people that, we do have some good people on our side here.
Oh, I agree. And I honestly do have to say to everyone, be careful what you get on the web. Be careful of the mods you get from the mod workshop, for example, and so on for Black Ops 3. You've got to be careful these days. Online is becoming more and more dangerous as we get on. And yeah, I mean, if you have people to back up, for example, this patch here, then yeah, you can actually trust it if a lot of people give the feedback that is required and say, yeah, this guy is actually doing this to help us. He's not here to cause malicious intent. He's here to help. If you have that backing, it's always good. But I still always caution everyone and say, be careful. Check before you grab something. Don't just grab it out of the blue. It could be extremely dangerous. So to quickly touch up on the console point of view for Black Ops 3 for PS4 as well as the Xbox One, and of course this applies to the PS5 and Series S and X and so on because it's backwards compatible and so on. But yeah, so the nice thing, I guess, is at least they won't be able to remote code execute on your console, so that's always a nice reassuring thing. However, they can still take the IP address and basically, as far as I'm aware, I mean, I'm still not fully knowledgeable of the console point of view, but I think that they can basically do a denial of service to you on there, so they can send lots of packets over and make it really difficult for you to play your game. They can still remote crash you, so if you're playing the game, they can just boot you off and disconnect you from the servers and so on if you like. So yeah, it's still pretty difficult to play it on console as well. And again, I would just recommend you play it offline on console, to be honest. It's still probably better for you, in all honesty, for security reasons. And like I said, by the time this video comes out, there's loads of things that could be happening in the background. We could have an even worse situation soon, for all I know, with Black Ops 3. It seems to be getting worse all the time. So it could get extremely bad soon. So just bear that in mind.
It's an unfortunate reality for this community that not even console is 100% safe. I mean, that's something a lot of people don't know. And when I first heard about that, my jaw dropped. I mean, their malicious intents know no bounds. And these people, again, they just really need to go outside and touch some grass. I joke about it all the time on stream, going outside and touching grass, but these people really need to do that. I mean, they obviously have nothing going on in their lives, like I said earlier, and it's really just really unfortunate. I mean, we were mentioning this briefly about how Activision just completely dropped the ball with this, and you were saying even what kind of legal action they should be taking, which I agree. There definitely should be some sort of legal action taken here because it's a direct interference with their product and the way it functions and things like that. So what kind of legal steps can Activision take, and what should Activision be doing right now if they want to care about this situation? Because, obviously right now they don't care about it, but if they want to care about it, what should they do?
Well, in all honesty, it's more what we should do to Activision more than the other way around. So, I mean, to be honest, first of all, from the perspective of just Black Ops 3 alone here, but this counts for the other games that we'll be talking about as well. The Activision, you realize when you buy this game, has a right to basically protect the consumer, protect the person who's bought the product. You know, they're providing a service here. It's up to them to make sure it's secure. It's up to them to make sure that when you buy it, you're not in danger. Right now, they have completely failed at this. Right now, they don't care. And as you can probably tell, people are getting in serious trouble because of this. So yeah, they've already broken the law, quite frankly, when it comes to that point alone. So everyone could get them on that. But there's loads of different things really when it comes down to this whole situation. I mean, the fact that people have been reporting this to Activision as well for a little while now, actually, in the case of Black Ops 3, and they just seem to ignore it. They really don't even look at it. I think I remember it was Milo or something sent something once to Activision last year now, I believe, where he said, you know, this is serious right now on Black Ops 3 on PC. People are getting kicked off all the time, unable to play it. You need to look into this. There's a security problem here. It needs an update. And they said that they were going to look into it briefly, and then they closed the case and just nothing happened. So they don't care. They just want to brush it under the rug effectively and pretend it doesn't exist. But I can tell you for a fact, if people start talking about it more and people start spreading this around more, like we're trying to do here with this video today, and hopefully we'll get this spread out more too, then eventually it's going to get to the point, if Activision doesn't sort this out, people are going to sue them. And if they get sued, they're going to get in serious trouble from the Consumers' Rights Act, as well as pretty much like the selling point of view act as well. Because here's another point here too. They are willingly selling these games still on platforms like Steam when they know that they are dangerous. They know they have problems. And they're not just selling them, you know, at full price. They're also putting them on deals and promoting them on the store pages. So they're breaking the law again. You know, there's a lot of things here which you could get Activision for just all of these problems alone. But for Activision's point of view, what they really should do, and this sounds sad to have to say this, but they need to do what the creators of Dark Souls did. If you weren't aware, for people at home, Dark Souls on PC had this issue as well with the remote code exploit. And what the creators of that did is they shut down all the servers on those games and then went and rebuilt the online systems for those games from the ground up, basically, in order to protect them and make them actually usable again online. And I believe they've now finally done the last Dark Souls game they were going to do. So they've now actually fixed those games and put them back up online again. And they no longer have that serious exploit in them anymore. Sure, it took them a while to do it, but hey, you know, they still did it. They acknowledged the problem. Look at Activision. They don't care. They haven't acknowledged it once, really, other than like, yeah, we see it, but it's not an issue.
The bottom line is, these developers are working on other things because Activision is telling them to work on other things. Now, I understand that they have to get their modern products out there. They have to get all of their new releases there, their premium content, so they can keep making money. Like, I understand the logic behind it. But when you have a problem like this, would they not want to have some sort of task force or some sort of subdivision of some sort of section of Treyarch to look into this?
Well, here's the thing, actually. I was thinking about this a lot because I do sympathize with the actual development studios who work on Call of Duty because, to be brutally honest, they don't get a lot of time to do what they need to do. They also get chucked onto other creators' projects. But here's the thing, you've got a lot of studios out there that Activision throws onto Call of Duty. There are other studios who could look into this. I don't think Treyarch really at this point should have to look into this because of how busy they are. They're doing everyone else's projects and they've got their own one that's coming out in 2024. They need to focus on that, and that's totally understandable. I think that there are other devs out there who could look at this. So, for example, Beanox. In case people don't know, Beanox are the dedicated PC development team now for Call of Duty. They have been since, I believe, Black Ops 4. They could very well be the people that should just actually take this on and look into it and sort it out. I appreciate they also have to look after the new current games as well, but if it allows for someone else to be able to actually sort this out because Treyarch doesn't have the time to do it and so on, then so be it. It's what needs to be done. Likewise, you could even message people about this, like PC Dev, if he's still about. I believe he's still about on Twitter. He used to be the guy to go to when it came to Treyarch related PC problems. Maybe message him about it as well, see what he has to say on the matter. But all in all, I mean, there are other studios who could take this on. And I think it's about time that Activision sorts this out and actually gives it to other studios to look at, because it seems to be pretty obvious that Treyarch probably doesn't have the time for it. Also, I understand why Activision doesn't want to do anything about this because it costs them money. But to be honest, at this point, they've got so much money, they really have no argument to, just put a bit of cost in to actually sort out their products, which they always seem to be so proud of. They obviously aren't that proud of it, considering they're just leaving them in a destroyed state, which is dangerous for their customers.
And what's interesting about that too is even if there was a dedicated studio that wasn't Treyarch to try to solve this problem, like Beanox, would they even get to the root cause of it? Would they be able to fix it? Because we also have these developers working on the Ricochet anti-cheat, and Ricochet hasn't been that great. Ricochet has been not a fruitful endeavor for a lot of people in the Call of Duty world. Ricochet has been randomly banning people, and those people weren't even cheating. So it also comes down to a level of trust with these developers too. Like, can we trust the developers to actually fix this if they were able to get this on their ticket or get this on their whiteboard of things to do? I mean, it's really up in the air with a lot of this, even if we were able to get through to them, which is very concerning.
It is concerning, but like I said, at the same time, I guess you have to put some faith in the developers to do something right here. And I
Absolutely, but it's
feel
still a thought in the back of your mind.
it is definitely, I 100% agree. But I mean, it's either they do something about it, or another studio like BNX does something about it, or it's up to modders forevermore to try and keep constantly fixing this. But you also have to look at it from the perspective of the modders here. So the modders are not going to keep doing this forever. They're not going to keep fixing this constantly if a new exploit comes out, because they're going to move on with their lives, right? So then what happens? Your game is completely screwed forevermore unless you have a team go back and sort it out. And really, in the end, like I've said, this is legally what Activision should be doing right now, and they could be sued on so many fronts for this. So if they actually don't want to end up getting sued and in serious trouble for what they are currently leaving, which is a really serious problem, then they're going to have to really pull something out of the bag for this. They can't keep ignoring this forever. It's going to haunt them in a big way unless they actually do something eventually. And the worst thing is, it will come to haunt them on their newer games as well. I mean, it already is. You've got hackers and things all over the new games. So this is coming back to bite them really constantly. And I just want to say one other thing for Black Ops 3 before we move on to the other games, which is I actually feel particularly sorry for the mod developers of Black Ops 3. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel sorry for everyone that just wants to play the game and enjoy it, definitely. But I feel so sorry for the mod developers because this is the most up to date game that they can use to create their own maps. And of course, this is the opportunity for them to show off their brains, show off what they can do, and promote their work and material. And now that there are all these problems with this game, it means that more and more people are going to stop playing it and leave it. So then these mod creators, all their work is effectively getting unnoticed. It's just being left behind. And that's really quite sad and actually very depressing. In all honesty, it is such a shame. And I would have thought that, considering I know that some mod people have been hired by Treyarch for what they've done, you would have thought that they would want to help create at least this game so that people could still create mods and actually play these mods that people are creating in a safe way. It also helps Treyarch, in my opinion, Black Ops 3 with the mod creation for them to look at people and go, oh, wow, you can do something really good here with coding. I think you should work with us at Treyarch. Or you've got incredible art design. I think you should come and work for us. This allows them to actually find new people for the studio. But without the actual game working properly and having all these exploits and that, modders are not going to care about creating mods anymore. So then the modding side of Black Ops 3, which is the most important part of it, I might add, on PC, is going to die. It's already dying. Modders are leaving because of this problem. This is
Yeah.
actually like a cancer that's spreading through the game. It's
Yeah,
horrifying.
I feel really bad for everybody involved. And this is a situation, like we've said multiple times, it shouldn't have even happened in the first place. And with all the modders out there and with all the talent that is in the zombies community still, it's really a shame that they have to navigate around all of this. Now, you were mentioning, and this is again, I think something a lot of people don't know about, but you were mentioning that this extends into other games, and this is going to be the other thing that we mention here in this video. What is going on with other games? How are other games that aren't Black Ops 3 being affected, basically? Like, what's going on with Black Ops 4 or even Black Ops Cold War? I even heard a little bit might be kind of in a weird spot in the near future.
Yes. So I do want to add that for certain games that I'm going to mention here, I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure Sirius would be able to confirm this, but I'm not 100% sure how dangerous it is to play them. So just bear that in mind. So the games that I'm not 100% sure on are Call of Duty Ghosts, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and Call of Duty World War II. I'm not 100% sure what those are like. I think you are all right, but don't quote me on that one, okay? um, Now, to go back to before Ghost, so all these Call of Duties from the original Call of Duty 4 up to Black Ops 2 on PC, this is specifically PC I'm talking about right now, all of them have the remote code exploit within them. Every single one of them. So if you play any of those, you are in serious danger playing them on Steam right now.
So you're
And
talking COD 4, World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, the original Modern Warfare 2, Modern
yep,
Warfare 3.
yep, and Black Ops 2, if you didn't mention it. I can't remember if you did or not. But yeah,
Yeah.
all of them, every single one of them, you are in danger if you play those. And believe me, if you do play them, for the love of God Almighty, do not play them online. What I mean by that is do not go into public matches. If you do that, you are in severe danger. Don't do it. You will honestly put your PC in massive amounts of danger. To be brutally honest with you, for all those games, if you're going to play them on Steam, only play the campaigns, quite frankly, at this point, and I would play them while offline as well. Just don't play them in any other way. Another thing I want to mention with one of those games as well, I think it also applies to Black Ops 1 this, but in particular Black Ops 2, Treyarch and Activision no longer control the servers. The dedicated servers are no longer theirs. They are the hackers. They own them now completely. So if you've noticed, if you look at COD TV, for example, on Black Ops 2 now, it's full of loads of random crap. You've got Discord server links, you've got pornographic material on there, you've got loads of weird things that should not be on that spot in the game in any capacity. And let me tell you, the fact that they own the dedicated servers now, the hackers, it means if you even just log on to Black Ops 2 now, for example, on zombies, they will see that you've logged on and they can do whatever they want. Doesn't matter if you're playing solo, doesn't matter if you're playing a private match or public match in this case, you are screwed. They will attack you either way. So for the love of God, don't do it. Do not play it on Steam. I cannot stress this enough. You are in serious danger if you do it, and especially in multiplayer. Multiplayer in all these games has got the worst kind of attackers out of all of them. Zombies is bad, yes, but multiplayer has got way worse. It's the same for Black Ops 3 with multiplayer. It's got really dangerous people in it. But it's not all a dead loss. In the case of those games on PC, some of them, not all of them yet, do have some fixes to them thanks to another launcher called Plutonium. Some people might know Plutonium, some people might not. Basically, some modders in the community decided to go and create a separate launcher from Steam, which has different parts of the game. So I'll use Black Ops 2 again as an example here, where they've got the zombies launcher and the multiplayer launcher within Plutonium. What they've done here is they've managed to patch out some of the serious exploits in those games, like the remote code execution, meaning that if you play zombies or multiplayer on Plutonium, you're a lot safer. I'm not saying you're completely safe. There could well be some other exploits out there that I'm not aware of, that Plutonium's members might not be aware of, but at least you'll know that the Plutonium members who are helping create these fixes will look into those and will try and fix them. But right now, if you want to play those games in any capacity, except for Call of Duty 4's original one, because they don't have that yet, and the same with Modern Warfare 2, then the other ones, you should play them through Plutonium. You shouldn't play them in any other way. Play them through Plutonium. The other thing you can also do through Plutonium, which is really nice, is you can basically set up your own private like match server with an actual password on there. So that means that when you invite people in, they have to know the password to be able to join. You can also set very specific rules, so there's no cheating allowed in your lobby. And if someone does cheat at all, they get kicked out immediately. There's a lot of really good things in there for Plutonium. And the way Plutonium works is if you have Steam games, so like Black Ops 2 again on Steam, you install it on Steam, you then download the Plutonium launcher, you create a separate account for Plutonium, which is not in any way linked to your Steam account, and then you basically just locate where your Black Ops 2 is installed, and then you link that to the Plutonium launcher, so then when you play it through the Plutonium launcher, you're all good to go. I do want to add though that if you have any data for those games, so like theater mode or something in Black Ops 2, that will not transfer over to Plutonium. You've lost that forever. You can't get that back unless you launch it on Steam, which I highly recommend you don't do. So yes, that's the state of those games right now when it comes to just PC. When it comes to the console point of view, they are also very dangerous. And people can just jump onto your account, reset your stats. Again, they can nick your IP and do things. They could kick you off the game still on those games. There's a lot of problems, man. Lots of problems.
It sounds like it, and it's really absurd that it's at this point and that we have all these people doing the developers' jobs for them, as we previously mentioned. And, you know, shout out to all of those people who make in Plutonium. Shout out to Syria. Shout out to all the white hats out there that actually give a damn about people and the cyber integrity of all of these games. And man, who would have guessed that we would be right here, right now, in this moment for Call of Duty, that it's completely unstable at this point. You have the unstable games that Activision puts out because they're just completely unstable server-wise, and the games are just completely polarizing. And then you have this complete other dark corridor of Call of Duty where you have all these miscreants who are just plaguing all of these older games for their own malicious intent. And it's really unfortunate that Call of Duty is here at this point, and I'd like to thank you for detailing all of this in this video. And I think a lot of people don't know about this, and for the people who do know about this, hopefully that this video was a good insight as to what's happening even beyond the Black Ops 3 issues and beyond what's happening with some of these bigger streamers. So I want to thank you for coming on here in this video and just sharing this with everybody, because it's very important to know.
That's all right. I will just quickly add, because I know you mentioned them earlier, just so people are not worried, that for games like Black Ops 4, Black Ops Cold War, Modern Warfare 2019, basically all the new ones, they do still have this exploit for the remote code execution. However, it is extremely difficult for someone to pull that off. So, in all honesty, probably not for many, many years yet would those be in any danger. Obviously, if Treyarch and that decide to patch them, they should be all right. But for the time being, don't be afraid to play those games from Black Ops 4 onwards. You'll be fine. You might potentially, I guess, if you play BO3 and they have your ID, be able to kick you off of like certain games. So just bear that in mind, but you should be all right. So don't fear when it comes to playing those games. Quite frankly, you can play them. But other ones from BO3 in the past, be wary, especially on PC. Do be wary. And solo players, you'll be more protected than the people that want to play online, because of course you can play offline most of the time. Although I do sympathize with people that want to play like Black Ops 2 Zombies offline, because you can't do that on PC. So yes, you have to use plutonium. Anyway, I am glad that I could come out and talk about this today, because it is a very serious topic. It's very important. Lots of people don't know that this is to the extent that it is. That I mean, there are so many people that have no idea that someone could just take over your entire machine and actually, well, effectively steal your life if they wanted to. That's how
It's evil.
serious it is. It's very evil. Unfortunately, it stemmed to the point where, we originally had these hackers and that were just doing it for a laugh, if you like, a bit of fun where they could kick someone off and go, hey, I'm famous for a few seconds, which sadly has now brought across the really dangerous people who have gone, oh, there's this really useful tool here that I can use to steal people's lives or destroy them. Perfect. Unfortunately, this is what happens.
Absolutely. That is the consequence of degenerate behavior. And once again, very unfortunate that we find ourselves in this situation in the first place. But everybody out there, please protect yourself while playing these older games. And if you have to, rewatch this video multiple times, because this is a lot of information. And obviously, there's just a lot here to really absorb and really let it sink in. Let it sink in and let it digest, and to really think about what's really wrong with this online world that we have nowadays, where everything is so interconnected for all the wrong reasons. We have social media, we have online gaming, we have all these platforms that have connected so many people from around the world for good, absolutely. But a lot of people out there, and what the trends are suggesting here more in the modern age, is just all for evil intentions and for people to just exploit and really just be evil, and to just completely ruin people's lives and to be criminals basically online. And so everybody out there, protect yourself and stay safe out there in the online world. It's honestly disgusting.
I think, yeah, the final message really here for everyone is be careful when playing these games. Just be careful what you do. Be careful who you're playing with. Be careful basically all together with the games. But also do use the fixes if you're a PC player. I highly recommend it, because it is pretty much the safest way to play these games currently right now. I also recommend people promote the videos like this one and other ones like from Serious about this issue, so that it gets spread around more and more. The more that these sort of videos and talking about these problems get spread around, the more Activision can't run away from it and they actually need to act on it. And I also do recommend that people start definitely sharing these videos and all of this information on social media platforms where Activision basically is. As start tagging Activision, start tagging the other studios, start tagging Beanox even. They haven't been tagged once yet, I don't think. See if they will respond to it. Likewise, if it has to, then it will have to go to, a court case, in which case I would honestly encourage people to take it to the Bureau of Customer Protection, Trademark, and Communication. And actually, I can tell you right now that Activision will not win that case. They will lose because they've broken the law. So hopefully it won't come to that. But, if it has to, then it has to.
Well,
But
especially if it
all
does
in
come
all,
to that, they will absolutely lose on multiple fronts, not just one. You'll have
mm,
lawsuits in the United States, in the UK, other areas of the world that sell the game to begin with. So they're gonna have a lot on their hands there if it ends up getting to that point. A ton of class action lawsuits I can see in the
well,
future too, potentially.
definitely. But more importantly, if someone actually, shows the remote code, especially exploit,
Of
in
course.
so many of their games, they are in severe trouble.
Yeah,
And I mean, there's no way that they will get away from that. They're just basically doomed. And
100%.
I just want to say, as a message to Activision and to the other developers, in the case of Activision, first of all, you're really scummy for actually acknowledging this issue and then ignoring it. You've been told about this issue for a long time, not just for Black Ops 3, for multiple of the old games. People have been telling you about these problems for a long time. You ignore it, you pretend it's not there. Screw you for that, in all honesty. Screw you. And actually, it's about time that you stepped up and actually giving a damn about your products, because it's actually disgraceful that you just chuck them away in the bin almost, even though you claim that you love every product and you're very proud of everything you've made. It doesn't come across that way. So it's about time that you actually put some effort in and freaking well sorted out your stuff. Also, to the developers, I'm sorry that you have to go through so much, and you're always constantly worked to death with the Call of Duty franchise. And I hope to God that your games that you've worked so hard on over the years are not completely lost and destroyed forevermore, to the point where people won't even be able to play the products that you poured all your heart, time, soul, effort into because of this issue and multiple other issues. Because that should never have to be the case. And all in all, I think it's about time, Activision, if you actually act on this, the first thing you need to do is shut down your servers, turn them off on these games, the old ones, and Black Ops 3, etc. Every game, quite frankly, that has the remote code exploit in it, you need to turn off those servers, and you need to then go back and fix them. It is your literal legal thing that you have to do. You have no choice. It's part of your agreement effectively to actually every consumer that you protect them. Right now, you are not doing that. So it's about time that you actually took action on it. And it shouldn't be up to others out there in the modern community to have to go and create patches, let alone freaking launchers, just to be able to do this and sort it out. Come on, put some effort in, damn it. It's about time you do so, because this has been around for too long.
I could not have said that any better, man. That is spot on. And to add on to what you were saying about that and them giving a damn about the consumer, they need to take a little bit of time and try to work on this and really try to fix their game. Obviously, they have the legal obligation to, but even just the moral obligation to as well, for people's peace of minds to sleep at night knowing that every time they play a game they don't have to stress and worry if they're going to have their identity stolen or their computer messed with or anything like that too. And really what's happening, the bottom line is Activision, if it's not a modern Call of Duty game that's just released, and the yearly cycle of sludge and the yearly drip fed cycle of just printing money at this point, if it's not that, they don't really care. So Activision, we need you to do something here. And if you don't do anything, well, it could definitely be a lot of big problems for not just you, but for a lot of other innocent people out there. So please take some time, stop trying to figure out how to make as much money as possible off of your games right now, just for a moment in time, because this will pass if everything is done correctly on your end. So just a quick moment of your time, a quick moment of effort to fix this problem, and then we can all go about our days and we can all play all the Call of Duty games the way we want to. So hopefully the right options are selected, and hopefully we can move forward in a positive way.
I agree. I kind of want to stress that I understand these issues are big, and I understand it takes a long time to sort them out. So I'm not expecting them to be sorted out straight away. But even just some communication, just to say that you're at least acknowledging the fact that this is an issue and that you are going to look into it, just something, rather than just silence forevermore. I know you're really good at that, by the way, but some kind of acknowledgement would be nice. I don't want to be pissed off and angry like I am regarding this issue. I don't want to be like that. I want to be a really happy, nice, consumer that's gone and bought your products and having a great time playing them, because I do enjoy your games. I love them. I love the zombies on them, for example. Jason knows that. Loads of other people know that. But I'm not prepared to go and just put myself, as well as also many others out there, in serious harm just so that you can get some money off of us buying your products. It's not how it works. You can't have that. And for people on PC as well, I do recommend, I forgot to say this earlier, that you report this issue to Steam, to Valve, let them know, because the one thing that Valve will probably do if they know there is a serious problem here is they will take these games off the storefront. And if that happens, then Activision will actually be concerned because they will now be no longer making a load of money.
Well, there you go. As the old saying goes, there's more than one way to skin a cat, so there's a lot of different ways to go about this and to try to get this resolved. But man, I really want to thank you again for coming on in this video and talking about this. I'm glad I'm able to use my platform, albeit, you know, it's not the biggest platform compared to some other content creators out there, but I'm thankful that I can use my platform and the size that I have right now, that I can use this to spread the word about something that's very important and to give people a warning as to what's happening. And you gave a really great insight as to what's happening right now in the Call of Duty world outside of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2.0 and the insanity that's happening, quite frankly. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your knowledge about this.
No worries, Jason. I'm happy that I could come on and share everything regarding this, because people need to know about this. People need to realize that they're in danger. If they actually are in danger, and if they don't know this, then anything could happen. Honestly, people's lives can be destroyed by this. So it's almost like my duty as a Call of Duty content creator to protect the viewers who might view my content as well as outside view your content and so on. It's very important. There's lots of people that need to be warned about this, and as a result, hopefully this video has done that, and hopefully it's also helped people find a solution to be able to at least somewhat play these games right now. So I'm happy to do that, and I'm happy that, hopefully everyone has learned something from this today, and including you, Activision.
I mean, I sure learned some stuff today that I didn't know about, so I hope everyone out there learns more about this problem too, and the negligence from Activision is definitely apparent here, so the ball's in your court. Really appreciate everybody for watching this video. I know this one is definitely a longer video than I would normally make, but there's just so much to cover, and there's so much important material that needed to be said in this particular video that it wasn't going to be short to begin with, so really appreciate everybody for watching and watching all the way through. If you made it to this part in the video, hopefully you did. And what do you guys think about all this craziness that's happening? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. And of course, I'll leave Alex's links down below in the description. Sirius, the patch, everything that you guys need to know on a technical level about all of this is linked down below in the description. So with that said, everybody, thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy and you haven't already, leave a like and subscribe if you're a brand new viewer. And with that said, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on where you are in this crazy world. And I'll see you guys next time.